hi. I didn't see you there. You got me thinking about some of my favorite female creators to celebrate International Women's Day. There's no doubt that series like Sailor Moon, Clamp, and the BL genre had a genre-defining pull on the anime and manga culture and its popularity today. And sure, some of our favorite comic book stories come from the world's minds and stories of women. So, to celebrate International Women's Day, I thought I'd curate a little list of some of our favorite female creators and the ones you need to read right now. But I'm a man. Who is a woman that I know who knows about comics and manga? Tilly Walden is undeniably the most successful comic book creator. At 22, she's an Eisner Award nominated indie comic book writer who's written 5 different comic books under her belt. She is the quintessential indie comic book creator right now.
I love the way that she's able to incorporate these kinds of like fantastical worlds into her writings and stuff like On a Sunbeam and even A City Inside. She kind of creates these worlds where it's very whimsical and kind of magical, but still very like heartwarming and relatable.
Yeah.
And even in Spinning, there are so many scenes, like I love the parts when she's talking about kind of the different moves that she's doing and how those moves kind of transcend her into different places and different memories.
Even the ones that are about fantastical worlds still have this sense of realism and her own personal story in there.
They feel almost nostalgic, and that's kind of something that I really love, is that you can read it and you feel like you're going through that like angst.
Yeah, it's super like emotionally nostalgic. Postgazette Missouri is the perfect manga artist for you if you're looking for high concept dark fantasy. Her inspirations have always been tied to like Victorian England, like dark fantasy, demonology, and chibi steampunk fantasy. So if any of those things tickle your fancy, you need to read Promised Neverland, which is her debut manga, and look at her art book, The Art of Postgazette Missouri.
You can see that she's been trained as a concept artist because the way that she emotes characters is really amazing.
Yeah.
And that's something, especially for Promised Neverland, when it's like a kind of high suspense series, you really want that going just because you just want to read the next chapter and you want to read the next chapter and the next chapter.
If you're looking for something a little bit more lighthearted and wholesome, Katie O'Neill's stories are beautiful, and the pastel work of it is just an adorable family-friendly stories that you love. Our personal favorites are Aquacon Cove and Tea Dragon Society. They're all about stories about young girls, teaching them to value certain things like the environment, themselves, female relationships. They're just really, really lovely and cute.
She has this wonderful palette where everything is quite warm and it's almost like when you're reading it, you're getting like this nice, comforting hug, and that's something that I really appreciate about it. There's like a sense of kind of naivety to it that's really nice and comforting.
And the way she draws a lot of like the creatures is really lovely. It's like very miniature and cute, and it's not chibi, but it's got that sort of like
roundness to them.
Yeah. And we don't want to keep using the word whimsical, but this is a comic that defines the nature of whimsical and magical innocence, I guess. Hiromu Arakawa is a dynamic storyteller with stories about political sabotage, espionage, fantasy, alchemy, and collecting Calmano at 5 a.m.
That's a pretty good way to explain it.
Yeah.
She did an adaptation of The Heroic Legend of Aslan. She did Full Alchemist, which are both quite like serious ones.
Best series I've ever read, to be honest.
It's one of my favorites easily. And she just is able to write these really serious, really deep, really like, I guess like political stories. And then like, especially for Full Alchemist, she's able to like sprinkle in these little like moments of like really nice light humor.
Like jabs at Ed's heights, that sort
like,
of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And things like Alphonse with the cats inside of him. It's like little things like that are just really light and kind of like airy in this kind of very turbulent world. And I guess in all of that, she's able to also write things like a slice of life series about going to an agricultural school and kind of learning what it's like. And I love that diversity that she brings to the table. She's able to write that series and then also write this really like slice of life and light series.
Margaret Bennett is the comic book writer for you if you're looking for powerful, independent, female badass role models.
The thing that I love is that she not only writes really strong, kick-ass women, is that she also writes vulnerability really well. Is that she shows that to be a badass woman, you have to have like emotions, you have to have kind of something that's holding you, like bringing you forward and pulling you along. And like, especially in Bombshells, that's one of the things that I really love is she packs so much character development into such a short comic that it's one of those things where you get by the end of it, it's like, yeah, like that does feel really cool. I'm like, yeah, those characters are really awesome.
Also, we should stress that Margaret Bennett is the creator, one of the leading creators of Aftershock, and a big reason why we have an actual section dedicated to it, because Insects and Animosity are the 2 leading series in that publisher, and if it wasn't for them, Aftershock wouldn't have been as big as a deal as it is now, I think. So, those are our favorite female creators that you need to read right now. In fact, what are you still doing watching this video? Pause this and go read them right now.
Let us know who your favorite female creators are and who we should be reading.
And come in store and check out a little display we've got right down there. And until next time,